Namaste and welcome. Um, I'm just letting people arrive. So if people arrive as we go, they'll be coming in. So don't be too distracted. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Amarnath, and I'm part of the Institute for Clinical Ayurveda. Today's session is called The Alchemy of Eating: Why Food Combinations and Habit Guidelines Matter in Ayurveda and Why They're Often Misunderstood. This is a live educational class. And it's not a sales presentation, and there's nothing you need to buy during this session. And the only goal for today really is to have clarity. So I just want to set the expectation clearly so everyone knows how to listen. So this class is not about food lists, it's not about rules to memorize, and it's not about trends or modern dietary opinions. It's about how Ayurveda thinks. If you're new to Ayurveda, I want you to listen for understanding and not details. If you're experienced, then listen for structure and reasoning. You don't need to agree with everything that we say, and you don't need prior knowledge, and you really don't need to take perfect notes. What we want is just that you stay present and that you get what you get at whatever level you're at. So first, let's start by creating clarity. In Ayurveda, Ashta Ahara Vidhi Visheshayatana means ashta, which is 8, ahara, which is food, vidhi is divisions, vishesha is specific or special, and ayatana is support. So it refers to the 8 special factors that govern the utility and effect of food on the body. Detailed by Acharya Punarvasuratraya in Charak Samhita, a classical text of Ayurveda. These principles provide a structured framework to ensure that food provides optimal nourishment while preventing the formation of toxins or ama. Ama, as we define as toxins in the West, but in Ayurveda, it's what doesn't get digested or become healthy tissue in the body, and eventually will create diagnosable disease. So these 8 guidelines are what give us our greatest support to help us understand our role in creating our own health through the process of food consumption. So now I'm going to let Dr. Vivek speak and share a little bit on this.
Yeah, namaste everyone. I'm Dr. Vivek. And thank you, Amarnath ji, to explain the basic, the understanding, the meaning of the words Ashta Ahara Vidhi Vishesh Ayatan. We are calling it today the alchemy of food. Now, if you see, food is an essential ingredient which is needed for our existence and for the life processes to keep going in a very smooth way. See, human beings have survived and evolved from being hunters to organized and trimmed food makers, from eating raw and unprocessed food to making processed delicious recipes in innumerable and unimaginable varieties. Ahar is, or food is, one of the supporting pillar of life sustenance. In Ayurveda, it is called as Traya Upastambha. Upastambha means sub pillars of the life. It includes Ahara, Nidra, and Brahmacharya. And sometimes it is also called in some text, they call it as a Brahmacharya. But Ahar is very clear. Ahar is food. Nidra is your sleep. And Brahmacharya is like, it has 2 words in it: Brahman and Charya. Brahman is not just a caste or a sect, it's like an most expanded state of life. And the practice that focuses on this expansion, that will be called as Brahmacharya. It's not absolutely abstinence from some like sexual activity we usually uh, believe that it talks about that, but it's not. It's the most expanded state of mind. And it will happen only if your body is being fueled, it is being rested, and then it is acting, or it is being used up for that expansion. So fueling will be done by by the food. The resting we will get by taking good sleep, and then the expansion is the brahmacharya that we are going to follow. Now, uh, see, food, when we see that, like, if you are not, if you are having a good food, but if you are not sleeping uh, in a quite a good, like the recommended 4 to 5 hours or 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body will not process that food, and you will not get the intended benefit from the food that you should get. So, and in Ayurveda there is one and it's not important also that, or you take a very good food and you'll get a good benefit from it. Nacha kinchit adosham, nacha kinchit nirgunam. It's like nothing is, there is no good food or bad food. There is nothing safe also. Sometimes food can also kill you. Food, if not getting digested, it will get converted to ama vish, that is a kind of toxin. Therefore, we need a dynamic understanding of what is good and what is bad. So first, in this 8 factors pertaining to food intake, we are going to first discuss about prakruti. There are 8 of these uh, rules, or you can say the factors that is responsible or for taking the food. First is Prakruti, that is the natural quality of the food. Prakruti, we also call it as the first creation. See, whenever you are buying a mobile phone, you get a mobile phone, it is factory resetting. Like it's factory setting or resetting, it's you have to like according to your will, you have to put on the data, or you have to make the changes so that it suits your likings. Like that, Prakriti is also the factory reset, but we cannot change Prakriti. You cannot change Prakriti. If you want, like I'm an Indian, born as an Indian, if I want to become an American, you can get the visa or that PR and all can done, but I cannot become a white person. I'll be an Indian with a dark skin, brown skin, and that is what Prakriti is. Prakriti is the natural factory resetting with which we are born with. Second is like current. Current is like the processing, how we are processing the food. There are, see, food cannot be taken in its raw form. It has to be processed, it has to be cooked, or there are different types of processing. Third is samyog. Samyog is a combination of substances. How we are combining food in order to consume it. Then Rashi. Rashi is quantity. How much quantity is good, how much quantity is bad, depending on the Prakriti. We have to decide it. We'll be talking about each of these points in detail. Then comes Desh. Desh is the place where the food is grown and cultivated. So you know that there are different types of regions. There could be a desert region, that could be a place where there is a lot of water present. According to the region, then the quality of the food also changes. Then there is Kal, time to intake of food, and this is very important, because if you want your food to get digested, your food, you want that all the nutrients to be absorbed by the body, it has to be, the food has to be taken at right time. Then there is Upyoga Samstha. There are some rules of taking the food that we are going to talk about. And then is Upyokta, the person who is consuming of food, he has to also be present, and then he has to follow some of these rules so that all the nutrients, all the positive things that he is going to get from the food, he can get it. So these are the 8 uh, points or 8 factors that we are going to talk about on today. Amarnath ji, do you have to say anything on these 8 points?
No, thank you. This is very, very well described and very well brought up. So yeah, just yeah, focusing on Prakriti. Um, you know, just my some thoughts that I wanted to give, as we move on to Prakriti. This refers to like as you've mentioned, this refers to the inherent qualities of food, such as whether it is naturally heavy or light for digestion. And understanding the food's nature helps individuals to choose items that align with their digestive capacity and their own unique nature. So I'll let you go ahead and share more on this.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
So if the first point that we are going to discuss is Prakriti. As I've mentioned, the Prakriti is the factory resetting. We cannot change that. So it's the natural inherent quality of the food also, as we cannot change our Prakriti is of different types, like it's Jata Prakriti, there is Kula Prakriti, there is Desha Prakriti. There are some of the features that we are going to get at the time of the birth, when the Shukra and Shonit, or the sperm and the ovum, when they meet, fertilization happens. At the same time, the Prakriti of a person is decided, and you have to surrender to the Prakriti. You cannot do anything for that. Only your Manasa Prakriti can change. See, the way you are thinking today, maybe you will not be thinking the same way when you grow up or when you enter into your later part of the life. Maybe your uh, thought process changes. That can be changed, but your physical or deha prakriti, it cannot change. It will be the same. So it is inborn and unchangeable. But determine how food behaves in the body. Like if we see uh, here, if we see, the Prakriti denotes the natural quality of the food or any medicine also. Let's take example of the Prakriti. Some of the food or some of the medicines can be guru or heavy. These are the qualities that that person or that food or that medicine would be having. Some food would be light, lagu to digest. Some would be snigdha or unctus, oily, and some would be dry. For example, and see, Ayurvedic principle says that food should be selected according to its prakriti to maintain the agni and health. For example, if we see, if the food is heavy, it means it will take more time to get digested. If the food is light, the quality of the food is light, it will take less time to get digested. So it depends on the quality of the food also, that it how much time it takes for getting digested as well. For example, if we take this picture, the black one that you see here above is, it's called as black gram. Uh, yeah, this hand. So the black gram, it's called as mash in Ayurveda or in Sanskrit. So mash or black gram is said to be guru or heavy in nature. Therefore, it is heavy to digest, or it will take time to digest. Similarly, on the other hand, if we see the green one, yeah, green one, that is moong beans or green gram. It is lagu, it's light in nature. Therefore, it is light and easy to get digested. For someone who is taking meat or who is non-vegetarian, for them, sugar amounts means pork. It is heavy to digest, takes longer time to get digested. digest, and deer meat is easier to get digested. It requires less time and easy to digest. So it depends that what kind of food would you prefer for a person having different kind of agni or different kind of digestive fire or digestive capability. For someone who is having a huge appetite, for them having these food having like having guru or heavy qualities, it will be easier for them to digest it. For someone who has a less appetite, takes longer time to get to digest food, for them things that are having the quality is light, it's good for them. So digestibility is again governed by the prakriti of the food, not just quantity. Quantity also plays a role, but quality of the food also uh, plays there a good role. So by knowing the nature of the food, see, by knowing the nature of the food or medicine, we help in choosing the food according to our digestive capacity. As if you can see, strong Agni means having a good digestive fire. He can digest both the food which is heavy in quality and food that is light in quality. But those who are having weak Agni or those who are having less digestive fire, low appetite, if they eat food which is of a heavy quality, it can lead to indigestion, metabolic disorders. For them, it is always that light food is preferred. So that is and if you know your Agni, if you know your digestive capability, it will help you to choose what kind of food I can eat, so that I do not fall prey to all these digestive disorders. So it also again depends on one's constitution. If your digestive capacity is good, you can take both heavy and light. If your digestive capacity is poor, guru food will give you difficulty. So in Ayurveda, food becomes medicine or poison depending on the prakriti of the food and also the strength of the digestion that you have. So that is about the prakriti. Any thoughts, Amarnath ji?
No, I think you have very well explained it. Just some things I want to sum up in all of that. So what's really important, sometimes in modern Ayurvedic thoughts, and I would say in westernized Ayurvedic thoughts, we get this idea of like you should know your prakriti and then apply the right diet. And then a lot of people give these kind of blind ideas of like, okay, you're this constitution, this should be your diet, which is not really a correct way of thinking. But this process in which Dr. Rebecca is saying, we're looking at what are the qualities of the food and what are the qualities of the patient, but not necessarily the qualities of the patient, but how strong is their digestion? So in understanding the
Yes.
qualities of the patient and understanding the qualities of the food is like, is their digestion strong enough to handle more heavy and nourishing food? Or do they need to eat lighter? Or do they need to eat light, but then the food is still a little bit on the heavier side? So these are the things that become very much up to the focus of the practitioner viewing the patient, that we really understand like the constitution or the prakriti of food. So yeah, thank you very much. So we think we can go on to karana, and
Yes.
just understanding karana. This really involves a process of methods of food preparation, such as like roasting food or boiling food, fermenting food, and really like which can transform the food's natural properties, right? So depending on processing can make heavy foods lighter and more digestible, or even
Yes.
like adding fire and having more cooked food can encourage more warmth and heat in the food as opposed to eating a raw diet. So, so Dr. Vivek, I'll let you share more on this.
Yeah. So Karana means the processing of the food substance to make them suitable for consumption. See, some food uh, may not be suitable for direct consumption. Their form and their inherent characters should be changed in order to make the food more suitable for consumption. Here, as I mentioned, some food are unsuitable in raw form. So we'll have to, in order to do this, food needs to be processed and transformed into a usable or consumable form, such that it will be easily digested. Now, Karana, as I mentioned, that it's a processing of the food substances which leads to a transformation in their inherent qualities and the character as to make them more good for consumption. And this transformation is called as sanskar. Now see, sanskar or abhisanskar. Sanskar, there is one shloka that is mentioned in Ayurveda. Sanskaro hi gunantar dhanam. Gunantar dhanam means when you are changing the quality of, see, if you want to cook a rice, let's take an example of rice. Raw rice converted or transformed into cooked rice, you have to process it, you have to wash it, you have to mix water in it, and then you'll have to provide fire, so that the fire transforms the qualities. Raw rice, if you eat, it is heavy to digest, but when you provide heat and cook it, its quality changes. So that is, and in Hindu religion, there are 16 types of sanskar. Every sanskar brings about transformation, like Namakaran sanskar. Namakaran means you give a name to a person, a little boy. Like before naming him, he does not has any, he has its identity, but by getting a name, that transformation happens. So, like there are 16 types of sanskaras, and each sanskara brings about that transformation. So, therefore, if we see here the Ayurvedic principle that properly processed food becomes pathya and improperly processed food becomes apathya. Pathya is which is good for you, good for your, uh, good for your digestion, good for your health. Apathy is that is not good. Uh, if we see, there are different types of sanskaras that has been mentioned, or that there is some kind of processing. Toya sannikarsha, cleansing, soaking, treating your food with water. Application of heat, boiling, roasting, cooking. Agni sannikarsha. Saucha is to cleaning and washing of food substances. Like if the same example of, or I can give you an example of starch. For if in case of, mm, yeah, the rice, if you if you wash it multiple times, the starchy part of the rice gets removed, and what is left behind is the quality of that rice changes. So that is saucha, cleaning and washing. Manthan is churning, grinding or pounding. Now churning, one example I'll give you, buttermilk. Buttermilk is like, see, if you are taking yogurt is heavy to digest. Yogurt will make your body heavy, it will make you sleep. But on the same, adding water to that yogurt and then churning it, it will transform it to buttermilk. And buttermilk is good for digestion, light to digest, helps in digestion. So that kind of transformation happens. Desh, influence of place or region. Food properties varies according to geography. That, see, it depends on the soil also in which that food is growing. Potato of, let's say, I'll give you an example of US potato of Vegas, where it grows in a desert, and the potato of California, I don't know how the weather of California is. If it is like more watery, it will be heavier, and potato of Vegas would be lighter because there is not much water, and or because of the environmental changes. So that also uh, uh, like brings about the changes. Kala, it's time and season influencing food quality. Again, I'll give you the same example of rice. In India, it is considered that you have to consume the rice which has been stored for at least 1 year, because the newly harvested rice, it is heavy to digest, and if it is being kept for 1 year, all that moisture of the rice gets absorbed, the moisture goes away, and what remains behind is like drier version of that, and it is lighter to digest. Then Vasana is addition of flavoring agents, preservatives or aromatic substances like the spices that we add. Bhavana is soaking the food medicines in liquid. That is also one of the types. Kala Prakarsha, changes occurring due to the passage of time or seasonal variation. If you keep a raw mango for some few days, the color of the mango will also change, and internal characteristics. The rawness will get converted to sweetness, sweet mango. And then bhajan is like the container or vessels used for storage or preservation. Now one more example I'll give you. If ghee is stored in copper vessel, the quality or the that ghee becomes it is believed that it becomes a toxin. So that the vessel in which it is being stored also has its effect on the food. So Karan is the process by which food qualities are modified through sanskara to make it wholesome and digestible. So that is about the processing part. So I'll take the thought of Amarnath ji also on this.
Uh, thank you. That's amazing. Great. So I some things that came up for me that I wanted to share. You know, we think of like Kala and what's it? Kala and timing. That like some of these things you can even combine how they are. Like I've had patients where if one patient, she had a very big problem with her digestion and her food was too heavy for her. And yeah, it was oatmeal, but it was too heavy for her. And even like her khichdi, like with beans, dal, something that is very light and easy to digest, it was too heavy for her. And one thing that I actually found through investigation was she was soaking her food, but she was soaking it for too long. And that
Mm-hmm.
soaking it for too long transformed it and made it heavier. That water made it heavier. And
Got
so,
absorbed. Yeah.
so yeah, so that was something I was thinking that came up in that. And also, you know, some of this stuff we have to think about it even for modern time, right? So
Yes.
storing how we store things, the vessels that we store things in, right? You know, a lot of what's really popular in modern times is plastic. A lot of people are storing
Yes.
food in plastic or even using in the microwave as a form of processing. But very specifically, you know, using plastic, the food absorbs plastic, and plastic is just it's petrol, it's gasoline, you know. We're not thinking, a lot of people aren't thinking about that. And then if you warm up that plastic with the food, then it's even worse. Already you're microwaving it, but then even adding plastic to it. So these kinds of things we have to also look at how some of these methods of processing can make it more toxic for us. So, yeah.
Yes.
All right. So shall we move on to the next?
Yes, yes. And of late, you must
Yeah.
have heard of this microplastic found
Yep.
in many of the tests, like in semen analysis, we get this microplastics.
Mm, yeah. So we see like how things are processed. It's just a subtle thing, one simple thing, but actually looking at it, it has a great impact on our health.
Yes.
So next is Samyoga. And Samyoga describes the mixing of two or more substances which can create new effects or which can be either wholesome or toxic.
Yes.
For example, I'm sure you'll cover this, but combining honey and ghee in equal portions is considered as harmful because the qualities are strongly opposing each other, whereas other pairings can improve the nutrient absorption. Like other things mixed with ghee can actually make it even more potent. So I'll let you go ahead and share more on this, Dr. Vivek.
Yes. Okay. See, Sanyoga means combination. Combination or mixing of two or more substances. When two or more substances they are mixed together, food or medicine, their quality, the quality of the combination will be totally different from the individual components. So if we see here, Sanyog plays a key role in therapeutic effects of the medicine, beneficial or harmful food combination. So in Ayurveda, we call it as Viruddhahar. Viruddha is opposite, ahar means food. When two different types of food are mixed with each other, then they will have a different types of quality will get the resultant qualities differ from the individual substance, and new property may appear in this combination, and this new property may be harmful or even it could be useful also. So it sometimes combinations are extremely beneficial, as I've mentioned, and sometimes it may be dangerous. There, like the example of ghee and honey. Here in India, for a newborn baby, we give ghee and honey, but in it is believed that ghee and honey, it's called as Jatakarma Sanskar. It's one of the sanskara where ghee and honey is given to the newborn baby, just a small amount to build this the immunity, helps in the building the immunity. Honey is believed to be have highly antimicrobial, antibiotic properties, so it helps, but in different quantities. Therefore it is important that you should thoroughly know about individual food substances, and also should have knowledge about their qualities. If we so see here, the nature of Sanyog: beneficial, enhances therapeutic effects, improves digestion of potency. Therefore, in Ayurveda, there are many formulations or medicines that are being given along with these food substances, like with ghee, with buttermilk, with honey. So there it will increase the potency of the formulation, potency of that medicine, and even work as a catalyst that would not change its own characteristics or qualities, but it will increase the characteristics or qualities of the substance which it is carrying along with it. That is what the catalyst does. But sometimes fish and milk, if it's mixed together, they have opposite qualities. They may produce toxic effects. Yogurt and uh, what we can yogurt and something that is very sour tasting, that also produces it even becomes more heavier, and it will make it harder to get digested. So sometimes it can produce toxic effects. It will disturb the digestive fire and the doshas. So therefore, knowledge of Samayoga is essential in Ayurveda. Importance of understanding Samayoga, like when if we get a chance to discuss this in detail, we'll be talking about this, the taste of the food, the qualities of the food, the potency, the after digestive effect. These are all the name that is mentioned here: rasa, guna, virya, vipaka. And we should also understand that after mixing these food or medicines together, what new qualities are emerging, and if they are emerging, the new qualities that are emerging, whether it is harmful or beneficial for us. So improper combination can lead to viruddhahar, metabolic disorders, and many chronic diseases too. So it is very important to know these these samyogas, what to mix and what not. Here, if we see, these are some of the wrong food combinations: honey, ghee, fish milk, then tea and this lemon, non-vegetarian with milk, any kind of non-veg, milk and sour fruits, also a bad combination. So actually, if we talk about viruddhahar, incompatible food combinations, there are 18 types of viruddhas, different types, like virya viruddha, potency, opposite potencies. Then there are different wrong method of preparing the food. So wrong time of consuming the food, kala viruddha. So there are 18 types of viruddha that we have been, it has been mentioned in the text. So wrong combination will lead to digestive disorders, skin diseases, metabolic, systemic illnesses. And if it is correctly mixed together, then it will enhance the drug action, improves the therapeutic outcome. So wrong combination medicine, correct combination is medicine, wrong combination is a poison. So I'll ask again Amarnath ji for his inputs on combination.
Well, no, I think you've explained it. I think you've explained very well, and just want to add some things to it. Yeah, where I see this plays a very important role with people is in, especially in Buruda Ahar. Like, there's sometimes we don't know, even if we don't know something is Viruddha Ahara, it's like one of the things that I talk to my patients about is to be able to be aware of how does your digestion feel. Sometimes it's due to overeating, but sometimes it's just the combination of two things that are too heavy, like combining, like sometimes someone may want to make something, like in the US, not so common, but sometimes it's common. People want to mix meats and cheeses, or beans and cheeses, or beans and meat, and this extreme heaviness is going to do that. Or even having like too strong or too heavy of a carbohydrate with meat, then it is going to make the digestion feel very heavy. And something, I'm practicing for over 2 decades now, and I still notice, like, oh, that was too heavy. That was definitely some Viruddha for me. So it's something that you see over time when you pay attention. And this is something, a lot of this, what we're sharing is just really about attention and being
Yes.
educated properly on it. Yeah. Shall we move on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. So the next is Rashi. So Rashi is something that I just mentioned a second ago, eating when eating too much. This factor emphasizes portion control and focusing
Yes.
both the total volume of the meal and the quantity of the individual components. So it's kind of similar, it has that relationship with some yoga. Right? So Ayurveda recommends filling only part of the stomach with food to allow the digestive fire to function efficiently. And
Yeah.
again, this is something that gets back to Agni and understanding Agni like it is a campfire, right? So the thing is it a fire, if too many logs are placed and there is no air for the wood to breathe, the fire will not burn well. But if you stack the wood in just such a way that there's the ability for air to become part of it, then the digestive fire works very well. So this is the idea of Rashi. Please share with us, Dr.
Okay.
Vivek.
Yeah. Okay. So Rashi means the quantity of food. See, quantity of intake of food is also very important for conducive and comprehensive health. And it should be essentially be taken into consideration whenever we are eating. See, Ayurveda always recommends that you should eat only when you are feeling hungry. If you are not hungry and if you are eating food, that food won't get digested and gets converted into undigested food juices that is called as ama in Ayurveda, and that ama is the root of all the diseases. So Ayurveda always recommends that whenever you are hungry, that is the time you should eat. And if you are not hungry, it means your digestion is not proper. Therefore, you should fast at that time. Fast until you start feeling hungry. But whenever then, if you're having a good hunger, at that time also you'll have to take into consideration that quantity of food that you're taking, it should be one third of the stomach. It should subside your hunger. It should not like it. There is this habit of many people that their hunger is subsided, but they are not feeling mentally that they are not full. So they keep on eating. They keep on eating. That is overeating. That leads to many of these digestive disorder. So quantity should be individual specific. There is no universal particular fixed quantity of food which needs to be consumed. And in Ayurveda has mentioned that one part of food, one part of water, and one part should be left empty, so that the process of digestion should be started, and that shall not be breached at any cost, I think. So the quantum of food for any individual is different and is fixed for that particular individual. More than that desired or permissible quantity or quantity, or even less quantity, those who are not eating, not following their hunger, or there is one condition called as anorexia nervosa. Being nervous, there is this gut brain connection, gut brain axis. If you are nervous, it will show up on your gut. You will not feel hungry, and then you keep on losing weight. That condition is anorexia nervosa, especially seen in teenage girls, where they are very much very much anxious about their weight. So that condition arises. But if you are taking ideal quantity of food, that will support your digestion, the strength, the daily activities, everything will be in proper form or properly maintained. So, and if we follow proper quantity of food, it maintains your digestive balance, prevents ama formation, supports energy, immunity, and tissue nourishment, and quantity should never exceed or fall below one's capacity. Now, there are two types of quantities in Ayurveda. Either it is sarvagrahi, in this, the quantity of food it is taken in totality. Totality means in Ayurveda it is mentioned that there are 6 types of taste: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent. And your food should have all the 6 tastes. Now, in Indian like food plate, we have chapati, we have rice, we have a vegetable, we have dal, we have pickle, we have salad, papad. So it's kind of a full meal. You can see this picture. It's a typical Indian food plate. But and it focuses on total volume of the food consumed. So all the substance, ingredients, and inclusion of food to be served will be considered in that totality. Then there is parigrahi. Parigraha rashi means in this, quantity of each of the ingredient or portion of the food is considered separately. Like if you are eating what we can say, mac and cheese, that is only your meal. And then that remains the only one taste, and then that only quantity is considered as full meal. So depending on that, one should have a thorough knowledge of the rashis and its types also. They should know which portion and in what quantity it is beneficial for them at the given point of time. And it depends on one's capacity and choices also. Like in I belong to Maharashtra, Mumbai. There in marriages, what they do that during serving meals, Well, there is the here it's not buffet system like now it has started, but earlier there it was like everybody has to sit on the ground, or there will be a row where everyone has to sit, and then there will be one server. So initially, the first serving, what he does is he uses a very small spoon. So there is a thinking behind that, because there everyone will not like a similar kind of food. So first serving is just like a tasting mm, quantity. The second serving would be with a bigger spoon. Like he will then decide that what is his likings, and he will ask for that. I want this, I want that. So according to that, he will be served a bigger quantity. So it should be according to your likings also. Okay, that allows like personalized food choices also, choosing 3 4 items and not only one item at a time. So that is about Rashi. I'll ask Amarnath ji also to add to this.
No, I don't think I think you've explained this very well. And I think I gave some good starting information on it just to be able to think about that. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, and it all, the thing is to see as this all goes on, as we see this unfolding, there's this idea that it's all interconnected, each of these things, right? Because
Yes.
it is about having the right quantity, but then it's also about having the right quantity of prakriti and taste and the right quality of each quantity, like that kind of thing to think about. So next we're moving on to
Dish.
desha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So desha, it refers to the geographical origin of the food as well as the consumer's environment. Consuming food grown in one's own region is generally referred to um, generally prefers generally preferred as it is more likely to be suitable for the body's local adaptation. So this is a funny thing that in modern times, and what I notice, especially in the US, is that sometimes I think about there's also this idea of satmya. What is naturally good for the patient? Like it's based
Mm-hmm.
on their own upbringing and their own culture. And the US culture is a very unique one because there's so many people, so many different types. We are the kind of culture now that we can have anything we want at any time. Avocados do not grow where I live, but I can get avocados and eat them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are not, mangoes do not grow where I live. Pineapples don't grow where I live, and yet I can get them and I can eat them. So it's this good question of like, is that what's right for me? And it's something to really get in touch with our own lives and what grows around us, what grows best around us. I'll let you go ahead
Yes.
and take over from here.
Yes. So Desha is the place where the food items are grown or cultivated. That's the natural or the local produce that we get. And actually they are the best for you when you are living in a particular area and you have a local produce. That would be actually the best thing for you to consume. If something is brought from outside, it has been imported, we do not know what is its quality, whether it is good for us or not. So it also depend, and to know about the place or region from which our food comes, it's important. You have to have the knowledge about their cultivation also. It's important what is growing around your region, so you'll be uh, you have that knowledge that this grows in my region, so it is good for me. And see, places related to habitat, or in fact the natural habitat in which the food grows, or it is cultivated, and desh covers all these things. For example, I have given you the example of Vegas and California. The same potato or the same mango that will grow in Vegas and it will grow in California, it will have a different qualities in them. So knowledge of the deshas help us to understand the quality, potency and the effect of the food on our body. Example, I'll give you one more example. The food and the medicinal herbs that naturally grow in the Himalayas, they are considered as one of the best.
Mm,
They are said to be very potent in their properties. And nowadays we are getting this ashwagandha type of ashwagandha that grows in Rajasthan. It's a Rajasthan one. It's one of the state in India. It's called as Nagori, and pertaining to that specific region, it's called Nagore and Nagori ashwagandha. So that is considered as one of the best because that environment suits, or that the root of the ashwagandha, it is the most potent amongst all the ashwagandhas or types of ashwagandha that we have in and around the whole India. So that is the region also plays the part. So it influences the quality of the food. It influences the potency of that herb or food, and then according to the potency, that food or herb will have these effects on our the doshas of our body. And there are three types of deshas or region in around us. One would be jungle desh. Jungle is like dry desert region. uh, because and if because it is dry desert region, the characteristics will be that the surrounding will be dry, light, less vegetation, vata predominant. The food that will grow here in this region also will be light, also will be dry, suitable for kapha disorders. Kapha disorders means one of the diseases like metabolic disorder, obesity, diabetes. The foods that will be growing in this region will be great for those diseases. Second is
mm,
marshy land, Anupdesh, where there is abundant of water, moist. The things growing in this region would be heavy. So it will be great for the people who are having vata disorder or having a vata prakruti, where there is dryness in their body. They can have these type of food or herbs. Third is sadharan desh, moderate, there where there is no extreme dominance of any doshas. It well tolerated, suitable of for most of the individuals. So food grown in particular deshas, they are often best suited for the people living in that region. As I've mentioned, you are living in California, you should take the food that is growing in California.
mm.
That will be best. That will be well tolerated. So you should select your food depending on your region, your and the food that is grown in your region, and again the quality, the quantity has to be kept in mind. So that is about Desh. Uh, Amarnath ji, if you want to add anything in that, you can.
Oh, I think you've covered it great. And it's such an important thing, like I said at the beginning of that, just the idea of the modern world that we live in, everything is so easily accessible. Even I know for you, like living in India, there's like things that maybe thousands of years ago, if something grew in South India, you couldn't get it in North India. And that's the way that was. You didn't have that
Yes,
food. And it's something very common that I think is a factor very much in disease in modern times, because how
yes,
many of us are actually eating naturally? How much are getting foods from local farms? How much, yeah, how much can we do that? How many people, because it's also even the Industrial Revolution brought in such a way that food can be mass produced, you know, and be brought anywhere in the world. So yeah, it's a very good subject. So
yeah,
next is Kala. And Kala is the factor that encompasses both the time of day and even seasonal timing of food intake. So this really ensures that dietary choices remain in harmony with the body's natural rhythms and shifting qualities of the environment throughout the year. So, something that has become quite the buzzword in the last 10, 15 years has, or maybe even 20. Yeah, early 2000s, there were studies done about circadian rhythm. and understanding that there's a circadian rhythm to everything. And then now many people are applying that to to how they're eating and how they're living their lives. And Ayurveda has been applying this for thousands of years and has understood this for in all of this time. So yeah, understanding our time and then understanding even the time of year is so important.
Yeah,
Dr. Vivek, please.
yeah, yeah. So Kala is time. And see, anything that is done on time or when time comes, it is extremely important that it has to be followed even in relation to the timing of food consumption. And see, time factor for the consumption of food, it's again utmost priority should be given to it. Some people follow it and are very particular about it. They are very punctual with respect to the time of the consumption of the food. They do not prefer to miss out the timetable of their food. If they miss the timing, they would not eat also on that day. Such people are perfectly healthy, I think, who are following their appetite, their digestion, their assimilation of the nutrients, their excretion. They are also proper and well balanced. So some people also they follow their hunger and eat food when they feel hungry. That is also one of the type uh, to follow the timing, because it is your body which is demanding the food. If it is time to have food, your body will demand for it. So in this in these people, the time of consumption of food differ from day to day. Some days they will be feeling hungry at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Some days they will be feeling hungry at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. But if they are following that too, it will be good for them, because they are following the body's biological clock. Their point of hunger is also proportional to the digestion of the previously taken food and the quality of the excretion also. So that is also very important. And these people would also be reasonably healthy if they are following their hunger. But those who are not addressing their hunger and the time of the food, and they give priority to something else, when they are working, they feel hunger, they are not following it, but after 2 hours, when they get free or there is lunch hour, they go and take food. By the time their agni has gone off, their appetite has died, they will be the prey for this ama formation, and then many of these, because everything starts from your digestion, your good health, immunity, and your diseases too. So if uh, if they are doing some different activities, it will definitely disturb disturb their natural biological clock of metabolism, and they will become the victim of various diseases in the long run. This I've explained, that hunger based eaters, the irregular or neglecting eaters, they delay or skip meal because of work, stress, other activities. See, kala is of two types. One is nityak kal and one is avasthik kal, and we have to also follow these. Nityak kal means daily regular time factor, like day and night, uh, similar like seasons also, and they will follow a fixed chronological order. It will not happen that Varsha will come before Sharad or like that. So there is these. This is fixed Nityak Kal. It will not change. Avasthik is situational. Now in Ashtanga Hridayam first chapter, it's one of our Ayurvedic text. They have mentioned Vayo Ahoratra Bhuktanam Tyantam Adhyadika Kramat. According to the age, according to the digestion, according to the Vayo Ahoratra, day and night, and according to the digestion, the doshas are placed in some order, and according to that we have to follow the lifestyle or follow the food timings. So if we see here Nityak Kal in relation to food, there are specific times for food intake. Certain times like midnight are not suitable for eating. Classical rule is that you take 2 meals per day, ideal for maintaining health. Regular timing helps maintain digestive fire. See, instead of 2 meals, you can even take 3 meals. Breakfast, lunch, dinners should be very light. You should not consider as it as a meal. It should only be a, like, in order to satisfy your hunger, you should take something that is very very light, because
Mm,
as we sleep, the blood supply to the digestive system, it decreases, and it will not let that food, if you have eaten heavy, that food will not get digested, because for digestion you require blood supply. That blood supply becomes slow because your heart is also resting. It will not pump at the same speed as it is pumping throughout the day. So dinner should be very light. You should give a gap of 3 hours, at least 3 hours after taking your dinner and going to sleep. So in that
mm,
3 hour, the food has passed on from the stomach into the intestine.
mm,
So that thing also has to be kept in mind. And if you see avasthik kal of the disease, each disease has different stages. Specific foods are prescribed for each of these stages.
mm,
Early stage of the disease, what kind of food? Progressive stage of the disease, what kind of food? And recovery
mm,
stage of the disease, what kind of food? That has to be followed. And if you are following this stage appropriate diet, it will help in speedy recovery, speedy healing, prevents any kind of these complications, supports comprehensive treatment. So kala also plays a very important role.
mm.
Okay. uh, Amarnath ji.
Uh, no, I think this is one thing that's really great to be able to see. I think many people in modern Western Ayurveda, we get into this, we understand the idea of like, okay, you should eat breakfast at breakfast time, you should eat dinner at dinner time, you should eat lunch at lunchtime. But something, and one thing I thought about when you were bringing this up is there's this kind of interesting thing to know when someone is not able to get into a schedule, there is obviously some kind of vata disturbance that is happening. Or if someone is has a hard time, let me say that, or if someone just is naturally out of any kind of schedule, there will be some kind of vata disturbance. Having that regularity helps with vata. And I just wanted to add that, this is this one thing that you mentioned at the end is so uncommonly seen in modern Western Ayurveda, which is the idea that you eat for the disease and that you understand the stage of the disease. And if you understand the stage of the disease, you know what type of diet is going to be best for them. A very,
Yes.
very, very common example of this is that when people are sick, they will still eat. They will still have
Yes.
something to eat, and I even noticed this myself. Like the last time that I was sick, I was like, oh, I need to eat. And I said, wait a minute. Am I hungry? Do I need to eat? And I thought, well, if I just wait, let's see. And then it was more that there was a desire to eat instead of hunger. So when I
Mm-hmm.
waited and I fasted for that day and I didn't feel good, when I waited, my sickness passed very quickly because I was able to
Yes.
be in that stage of the disease to understand that. And so this is such a great thing for people to understand just in basic fundamentals of how we work with our patients. So thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
I'll give you one example of fever. In the
Mm,
fever, in Charak Samhita, Chikitsa Sthan, Acharya Charak has mentioned the treatment protocol. He starts with Langan. Langanam, Deepanam, Pachanam,
mm,
Tikta Yavago. So the first thing that he has mentioned, you should do fasting.
mm,
If you do fasting without taking anything, you don't take medicine also, your
mm,
fever will pass away.
mm.
So it is very important that you see the stage of the disease and take your meal accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes, very much so. So Now going on to Upayoga Samstha. So this is these are the rules of eating our food, the rules of how we eat. So sometimes people call it the guidelines for eating. So
Yes.
this provides for how we consume our food, or understanding that we can, like, one thing my wife loves, she says, if the food is hot, she wants to eat now. And if I'm not
Yes.
on time, then she gives me a light scolding. But she tells me, hey, I want to eat while it's hot. And I understand this from the perspective of Ayurveda, that we want to eat the food while it's warm, eating at a even pace, that we're not eating too fast, eating without distractions. And this is a common thing that we miss out on. Like, we watch something, or we're reading our phone, or we're catching up on some work while we're eating. So these rules are there to really ensure that the mind and body are prepared for digestion and assimilation. And I'll let
Yeah.
you share more on this.
Yes. Okay. So as Amarnath ji has mentioned that there are some rules and regulation for consuming your food. And if you are following this, and see, if they are strictly followed, it is well and good. But it again depends on how your I try to follow it like in your full giving full what you can say,
Like attention?
yeah, giving full attention. But before that, you should understand what is the Jirna Ahara Lakshan, what is the symptoms that you see when your previously taken food is being digested. There are few signs of proper digestion. Like there is a shloka also for this. Udgara shuddhi utsaho vegotsarga yathochitaha लघुता क्षुत पिपासा च जीर्ण आहारस्य लक्षणम. So udgara shuddhi means the belching, it is clean belch, there is no taste of food in it. Utsaha means after your food gets digested, there is a type of enthusiasm in your body, in your mind. Vegutsarga means proper evacuation of your urges, stool, urine. Laguta means there is lightness in the body. Kshut means you will feel that proper manifestation of hunger. Hunger is, as I've mentioned earlier also, hunger is an indicator that your previously taken food has been digested. And when you feel hungry, that is the time when you should go for your next meal. And then pipasa is manifestation of thirst. So these are the signs of proper digestion. If you are having this, then go for next meal. Otherwise, you wait for this symptoms to you experience these symptoms.
Mm.
So there are some rules. One should consume food substance which are wholesome and good for their body, and there are few rules like Ushnam Ashniyat. Try to eat hot and fresh food. In Ayurveda, it is mentioned that food, when prepared, it should be taken within 48 minutes. In Ramayana, not in Ramayana, in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that your food should be consumed within one yama. Yama is 3 hours. That is the maximum what it's mentioned. But when it is hot and fresh, you try to consume it. Snigdham ashniyat. There should be some kind of oil. Best, I would say that put 1 teaspoon of ghee in your food. Matravad ashniyat. Eat according to proper quantity. Then jirne ashniyad. That is what I am trying to explain since the beginning. Eat when you feel hungry. Virya aviruddham ashniyat. Eat food which is not contraindicatory in property, in potency. Ishte deshe ishte sarva upkaranam cha ashniyat. Eat in the desired place. Like you eat where you feel happy, you feel it's according to your likings. Nati drutam ashniyat, do not eat in hurry. Do not eat very slowly also. In Ayurveda, it's not mentioned anywhere, but here we say that when you put a food in your mouth, you should chew it for 32 times, the number of teeth you have. So if you are chewing your food for 32 times, it will get digested properly. And there is a modern rationale for this also, because the more you chew your food, more your saliva mixes with the food, and saliva has one enzyme called as ptyalin. That ptyalin gets mixed well with the food that you are taking, and that bolus that is prepared, it is of good quality, and it gets dissolved in the acid that is present in the stomach, HCl, hydrochloric acid. It gets dissolved quickly, and then the process of digestion also gets, the pace increases. So you should not eat in hurry, you should not eat very slowly also. Ajalpan, ahasan, tan mana bhunjit. Tan mana bhunjit means you should concentrate physically as well as mentally. You should not talk, you should not laugh, you should not use your phone, you should not see TV when you are eating. That is tan mana bhunjit. Atmanam abhi samikshya bhunjit samyakah. Eat after, like according to your analysis. What is your hunger? What is the correct quantity? Because anyone else cannot decide what quantity of food you should eat. You should be your own inspector. You should inspect your hunger. You should inspect the quantity and eat according to it. So those are some of the rules that you should follow. And I think I'll take the last one also, and then I'll ask Amarnath ji to come in.
Yeah.
Okay. So last is Upobhokta. That is you yourself. That is the most important person, because you have to follow all those rules. So since Upobhokta is taking the food, the consumer, the person who is consuming the food, he is very, very important, because without an Upabhokta, all these 8 factors or all these rules will not mean anything. So he is the one responsible for that habitual intake of the things, that is Okasatmya it's called. And this also means that person who takes food should be accustomed to take intake of food as a regular habit, at right time, in proper quality, and in proper quantity. So without a consumer, these rules will not make any sense. So a consumer should be present. That is you. Okay. So Amarnath ji, you come in and you say something about
Uh,
this opinions. Then I can come.
so, um, yeah, I think it's very, very well said. If without the person, who does this rule, do these rules even make sense for? Something that I want to kind of, something that I want to like really add into this is that there is this understanding that while these rules are all there and they're going to create the best level of health for all of us, there we should also have a sense of relaxed nature about it, because even being so strict and so stern and so hard on and fast on the rules, you know without some relaxed nature, without some ability to just understand, like, I do my best to follow these things. Because if we have that sternness and that strictness, also this creates a constriction and a tension for ourselves. Sometimes people are so, sometimes people are so much like, oh, it should be this way. And sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes even in my own household, my wife and son say, wow, you're so strict about some things. But then also I'm also told that I don't quite like, I'm not on time for dinner sometimes. Or everyone wants to eat when it's hot and I'm not. So I have a leniency for even these rules. So I just want to make sure that people understand how important it is to, yes, follow rules and have these good guidelines and have good hunger and have all of these right thoughts and processes. Um, and but also to have some relaxation
Yes.
about it. Yeah. Do you want to share anything else before we close, Dr. Vivek?
Uh, no, the same thing. Like even if there are such a strict rules, like you have to follow this quantity, hunger. At least hunger you can follow. That is the basic things. Like if you are feeling hungry, then eat. Otherwise, if you are continuously loading your digestive system with food, it loses its capacity, or it loses its function to uh, uh, of digestion. Because if it is very chronically done, 1 or 2 days, 1 month, it's okay. If you are chronically doing that without following your hunger, you are just going on eating according to your timings, that creates issue, that will create indigestion, that will create ama, which is the root of all the diseases. Therefore, at least if you're not going to follow, or it's not possible you to follow all these rules, at least follow your hunger while eating. That is what I would suggest.
So I want to thank everyone for being here, first of all. So Ashta Arhara Vidhi Visheshayatana offers a holistic and scientific approach to nutrition that moves beyond simple like calorie intake or what foods we should be eating. And by integrating the nature of its food, preparation, state of the consumer, and these principles provide a timeless guide for maintaining health and preventing lifestyle related diseases in the modern world. So we start to understand how improper eating habits lead to pathology and why correcting food without understanding fails, and how clinicians assess digestion rather than judge just the food. If you want to ask any questions, or even if you want to put any questions in the chat and we can answer them here, I'd just like to give a few minutes for that. You might have, like, I'd like to just ask for the rest of you, like, what did you learn? And what assumptions were you carrying that this became made clear? And where have rules replaced understanding for you? Or what would change if you understand digestion clearly? Does anyone have any questions, any thoughts, any closing thoughts?
I'll say something.
Okay.
Hi, I'm
Thank you,
Melissa.
Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Hi. I like that. I mean, it was a beautiful overview. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to both of you for your presentation. I also liked the last part about bringing a little bit of relaxation to the whole conversation, because ultimately we are supposed to be somewhat enjoying what we're eating, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. So I do think that in this day and age, there are so many diets, there are so many opinions about food and opinions about what to eat, and strong opinions, passionate opinions. And so this is just a good overview. Right? This is a good context of food in a very digestible way for people. And it's information that people don't know. They think they know, but they don't know in the big picture of what they're eating. So thank you so much. And yeah, I just wanted to comment that.
Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate you being here, and thank you. I acknowledge you for taking your time on this Saturday morning to be here with us. Anyone else
Oh, you're
have
welcome.
any? I'm sorry.
I just said you're welcome.
Yeah. Anyone else have any questions, thoughts, any things that became clear for you today? If there is no further questions, I'm just going to go ahead and close. So I just want to say, I want to end by saying this clearly. Ayurveda is not meant to be followed blindly. It's meant to be understood. When people understand food, digestion, and habit correctly, they stop chasing rules and they start making intelligent choices. So for some of you, this class may simply bring clarity, and that's enough. And for some of you, this might raise a deeper question of how do I actually learn Ayurveda this way? Or how do I apply this intelligently to my life or practice? So at the Institute for Clinical Ayurveda, we offer a course called Modern Longevity, the 6-week Ayurvedic Roadmap. It's designed to help people understand how Ayurveda approaches daily life, food, digestion, routine, and longevity in a structured or modern format. So this masterclass is going to give a taste of how we teach as we continue to build our school. And the course is going to continue to go deeper. So if you feel drawn to learn more or you're unsure whether this path is right for you, we invite you to book an introductory call. It's not a sales call. It's just a conversation to understand your questions, understand what your goals are in Ayurveda or Ayurveda education, whether it be just for yourself or even for further learning, and to see if further study might make sense for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share the link in the chat if anyone would like that. And there that is. So if you'd like to click on that link, it will send you to a page where you can book an introductory meeting with me and you can understand more about what you might like to get from all this. I just want to thank you all for your attention, your time, and your sincerity. Just the ability to be here, like I said to Melissa, on a Saturday morning when you could be doing anything else. So I just want to thank you all for being here. It means a lot. And we look forward to the continued conversation of those who feel called to know more. And I want to share that next month we're going to have another conversation that will surround that's going to surround moving from winter and into spring. Because it's February, we start in some places in the US, it starts to become spring earlier. Right now, where I'm at in California, it's beautiful and sunny for the last week and a half, and I'm kind of wondering where winter went. So, these are the kinds of things we want to be able to be aware of, and really the changes that we want to start making when we change seasons like this, understanding the qualities of the seasons and understanding the qualities of ourselves. So again, thank you for coming, and we look forward to continuing these conversations and being able to have people here. So hope to see you again soon. Dr. Vivek, do you have anything that you would like to say to close?
Not much. You have explained everything about if you have a curiosity about how this Ayurveda works. See, Ayurveda is not just about herbs. It's not about treating diseases. There are two objectives of Ayurveda. Swasthasya swastha rakshanam and aturasya vikarpashmanam. Those who are already healthy, we just guide them how to follow correct diet, lifestyle, and improving your longevity, improving your health. And unfortunately, if someone is suffering from any diseases, we will help them get out of that and then help them getting a longevity. So Ayurveda is a science of life. Ayur is life, Veda is the knowledge. If you want to get the knowledge of Ayurveda, you know about it, about the principles, about the philosophies, and you can apply those philosophies in your life and get benefited from it. So that is what my take would be. Thank you.
All right. Again, thank you everyone for coming. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and we look forward to seeing you next month when we speak about the changes between winter and the spring. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Vivek. Bye.